Hi, everyone. Wow, it feels so good to see this again. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but if you've been stuck around, thank you from the bottom of my heart. But I will never stop thinking about you and this community. And now I'm back. I'm back for good, and I'm back to give you that creative back, which have fresh energy, challenge, new ideas, and a whole lot of love for this community. So, whether you've been here since day one or you just clicked in today, thank you and you're welcome. So today's video is specially dedicated to all of my beginners. You know I love you so much. I'll be breaking things down and I'll show you a step-by-step guide on how to crochet like a pro. Whether you've never picked a yarn or you're just getting started, this is for you. So grab your yarn, get cozy, and let's dive. So these are all what you need. You need your yarns. This has crab yarns actually, so you need your yarn as a beginner. Also need your measuring tape. Anyone is fine. Anyone that is convenient with you, it's fine. You need your stitch markers. They come in sizes though, but this is what I have. You also need your scissors. Sorry. For this is the project I've already made. Okay, this is a project I've already made with this hook. This hook size is 3.5. I don't know if you can see it. It's 3.5. There are sizes by sizes. Okay. But for this project, we are going to be using this, and we'll be using these two colors, and we'll be using stitch markers and scissors. But for this one, we are setting it aside. I won't be using that for the meantime. So this is what we'll be doing, and this is just a sample of, or let's say, a squash that I made, just to illustrate what I am saying. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is a 3 file yarn. As you can see, we have 4, we have 5, until we get to the chunky yarns. Okay. And this is a fine weight yarn. But since I'm doubling it, it's going to be a medium weight yarn. So a medium weight yarn is 5 to 6 pile of yarns. Okay, since this is 3 and this is 3, it's making it a medium weight yarn. Although I like doubling mine, but if you have a medium weight yarn, you can go. Okay, for the squash, right? Squash is like you giving yourself a gauge, an estimate of what you're going to be making. Okay, sometimes you might look at it that, okay, 200 grams of yarn will get me to this, to make this hat or bag. But unfortunately, because you didn't gauge it with this, you didn't gauge it, like you didn't gauge your project, you didn't make a swatch for it, you might either finish with that 200 gram of yarn or less. It depends, all right? It depends the pattern, it depends the structure of the the bag or hat. For making a swatch, sorry, if I call it squash, making a swatch, it helps to determine what you're going to spend on a particular project. All right. So for this project, it's around 3 inches. Okay. Or if you want to measure it with centimeter, it's over 8 inches. I don't know if you can see. Right. So this is it. So this is it. 1 to 8 centimeter. But if you're working with inches, or if you understand the measurement for inches, it's around 3.2. Okay, 3.2 thereabouts. Okay, or you just make it 3. All right. So gauge it depends. It might be 3 inches by 3 inches, 3 inches by 6. It can be 2 inches by 3. It depends. So this is 3 inches by 2.5. If I go forward, I might get to 3 inches. Okay, we're not using this for now. Okay, but let it be here. This would be somewhere there, and let us head to okay, for today I'll be talking about chain stitches and slip stitch. All right, chain stitches are like foundation chains. They are what build up any project. They are what creates any pattern. Okay, this is how I started. Okay, you take your hand and you fold. Okay, or you can just basically fold it to the length and make sure you have a long tail so you can weave in ends, okay, to keep a neat work. So this is the length I want my to be. Let me just take it forward here because I'm going to use the needle. A darning needle, I could have brought that, but maybe my next video I will show you. And you just fold it this way. You've created a loop. Okay, and you bring this forward this way, so you've made your own loop. You can go around this. I don't want to overemphasize on creating a loop. There are 2 types of holding the yarn. We have the pen pattern, okay, where you hold your hook and you just keep rolling and yarning over. We also have the knife. Let me use this. We also have the knife. I don't know. Where you just hold it this way and you keep walking. You can use this or this. It depends. But for me, I'm holding mine this way. Or time to time, I usually use this, but I'm more comfortable by holding my hand this way. Okay, choose what's best for you and you can roll with that. So to make your stitch or your chain stitch or your foundation stitch, you have to hold your yarn this way, like I said, the X this way, and you hold your hook and you yarn over, pull through loop, then you drag this tail, keep dragging, not too tight, okay, make it loose. Once you've gotten your loop, you come over and you yarn over, you pull through the first loop, you go back again and you pull through the second loop, you yarn over, you pull through the third, you yarn over and you pull through this way till you get to the loop, till you get to the length that you need. Alright. Okay, so you yarn over and you pull through the loop, pull through the loop. So that is how you create your foundation chain or your chain stitches. Alright, but if you're having a difficult time to count your stitches, it is very easy. Just look at this and you see this, V, as it is, this V shape, 1 2 1 2 1 2. It's just like when you want to weave or you want to braid your hair. Alright, so if you want to count your stitches, I like to use the V, this other area, but some professional crocheters always use this other back, which is also cool. It's also okay to use, but I use I do what I am comfortable with. So you can go as long as you want, but I just want to show you this and how to count your foundation chains. Okay, so you count it like this: 1 2 3 4 5 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Okay, this is 12 chain stitch, and you can look at it, it is very stretchy. Okay, and it's acrylic yarn, so acrylic yarn is a little bit stretchy when you work with it. Alright, so this is 12 stitch, and we want to make, we want to make want to measure. I want to measure this, okay, without stretching. Without stretching, I'm using the inches. So this is about 3 to 5 inches. Okay, this is 3 to 5 inches. This is 3 to 5 inches. So for us to make our slip stitch, okay, we're going to make a turning chain. And this turning chain, most of the times, it depends if the pattern requires it. But as a beginner, you need to know that every chain 1 or chain 2 is like a turning chain. It will enable you work on the next row. This chain 2 will help you work on this row. But for this project, we are making only chain 1. For this project, we are making only chain 1, and we'll work on the second chain from the hook. Okay, so for slip stitch, you're not going to yarn over, you're just going straight into, if you can look what I'm doing, I'm taking this loop. Remember, we have V stitch, so you're taking this first one and you yarn over, pull through. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, and you take this last or this first loop and you pull through this. So this one counts as your first stitch. But as a beginner, I will advise you to use your stitch marker, because you might end up increasing at the end or reducing at the end. So you take your stitch marker and you mark that stitch, and you come over here, you take this, you take your yarn, you yarn over and pull through loop. You just make the second stitch, you come over here, you yarn over, pull through the loop, and you pull through this loop. As you can see, it's building. You come over here, yarn over, pull through, and you pull through loop. And you need to make sure that your stitch is not tight. Don't make it tight but loose, because slip stitch can be very annoying. It can be very annoying because you need to find your way through it. Okay, you're going there. Pull through.
this is the last one of it. You yarn over and you pull through the loop. You just made your first row. Okay, and you see this front. If you look at it, it's your first slip stitch, and if you look at the back, it has this rig at the back. But if you look at it this way, it's creating a nice V shape, creating a rig just like that. Okay, so let's move to round 2. Remember your turning chain. Remember your turning chain. Chain 1. You move your work this way. Remember, we have been working this way. So now you move your project over to the left. Alright, so you make your chain 1, you turn. Now for this place it might be tricky because you might not be seeing anything here, but I always push my work this way. If you look at it, you can see this V shape. So it's that V shape underneath. That's where we are booking our slip stitch. Remember, you chain 1, so this is the place you're going to be working, not this one. So you push your work like this, so this place will be facing you, and you work. You insert your hook, insert your hook here underneath the V. I don't know if you can see it, underneath the V shape, and you yarn over, you pull through, and you pull through your hook. Now you take this slip stitch, the stitch marker, and you mark it. Once you mark this, you come over here to this V and you insert your hook underneath, you yarn over, pull through, and you pull through hook. Make sure you bend your work, so you will take this V and you yarn over and you pull through. Yarn over and you pull through. So for our stitch marker, this one, you take it out and you come over the stitch, It's very tricky though. And you pull through, and you pull through the hook. So remember we started with 12 chain, so make sure you want to keep that in mind. So you count 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the last one 12. So we still have our 12 stitch. So if you want to measure this now, you can as well make it 3. So as you can see, we started with 3.5, but because of how stretchy the yarn is, it shrink back to 3 inches. Okay, so this is what our round 2 or row 2 is like. You take your loop, you take your yarn, you can either wrap your hands this way, or you take it this way, or you move it here and you move it this way. So it's moving straight round and back to this place. But like I said, do what's best for you. Alright, so you yarn over, you chain 1, and you put your work to the side. Now we've made our chain 1, and now we'll work from here, not here. I don't know if you can see that. So you take your work and you pull through, you yarn over and you pull through, and this. Okay, and you take your work and you work it this way, making sure your project is not tight. Okay. So this is what it's looking like. So keep working, you make your chain 1, you come over, you chain 1, you turn. It's like a zigzag movement, but each row must have a chain 1 to turn. So if you're still watching, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share, and leave a comment. But before you go, I would like to ask, what do you want to learn about crocheting and why? So leave your comments in the comment section. I'll be there waiting for you. Okay, we are about to round up this row. And I just remember that I didn't show you how to count your stitch when it comes to slip stitching. It might be tricky, it's like we are not going forward, it's just to shrink together, so it might be tricky for you to count your stitches. So this is the last, and that is it. So once you get to the end of any project, you don't just leave it that way, you make the last chain one. This will enable it to end this row. So you can either cut off your yarn from this end or this end, but I like to use this other area, and you take out this one and you pull it tight. This will secure the end from losing. Now if you look at this work, this other side is a little bit tight, but this other end is loosed. That's no problem, alright? That's no problem, but let us count this. It's a little bit shrinked away from the other end. It's a little bit shrinked. But let me expand this so you could see what I'm talking about. Alright? As you can see, we are making progress. But it's a nice ribbon. If you want to use this for your ribbon, it's also nice to use for ribbon. But to count this, okay, so there's a rig here, another one here, another one here, and also here. Alright, this last one. To count this, take your hand or I just want to use this to explain better, and you count it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, 6 in that aspect is like times 2 of it. So this row we have 12, excluding this one. From this rig down to this other rig is 12 rows, alright, plus 1, which is the beginning chain. That is 13 rows in total. Okay, even if you turn it the other way around, if you want to count the same thing, it will still give you the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That is 12. Alright, that is 12 rows in total, plus this last one, which is this beginning one, this one, that is 13. So what we have here, it's a 13 row in total. Okay, I hope this is okay for you to understand. Alright, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Happy crocheting!